Hi guys, I just want to talk about these two lovely books. I bought these two books in Kisumu in July 2018. I was on my way to Kericho to visit Jackson Kirui, the tallest man in Kenya and possibly the second tallest man in the world. That's another story. But I want to talk about these two books, and the reasons why I want to do that is these books were being sold just outside the window in a matatu in a bus stand or a bus station. And they cost just about 20 cents, 20 Canadian cents. So they're really affordable for the group of people that Village in Motion actually supports back in Kenya. They're very affordable. They cost pretty much the price of, let's say, 3 bananas that's just sold through the windows. Why is that important? So the issue I have with this book is it's targeting the young kids that Village in Motion is supporting and teaching them really the incorrect grammar at a very early age in life. Because it says here, just what I've underlined, it was made of quite expensive material, cotton and silk, which made it gleam in the light. And what an expensive gown it was! So there's an exclamation mark, there's a question mark, and a period at the end of it. That's what we're teaching the kids that can afford to buy this book. When they learn this, because they can afford to buy this book at 20 cents, this is what they'll believe, because this is the foundation of their English, which is very important in Kenya. So as the camera zooms in, you can see the punctuation what I've just underlined. That's just one of the very many mistakes this book that costs 20 cents has, that our kids in Kenya are actually buying. The other thing too is essay writing is very important, because nothing happens in Kenya if you can't understand or comprehend something written in English. Here's an example of an essay, or part of an essay, that this gentleman has actually written. I'll just read the 3 paragraphs and you see just how confusing it all is for these kids. Long ago, there lived a chief called Kombele. Kombele was not his real name. No one knew his real name, right? It starts with that. People called him Kombele because he had a habit of going to their homes and asking for 5 shillings. Okay, fair enough. Chief Kombele was a very bad man. Even other chiefs from the neighboring villages did not visit him, as was their habit. Again, their habit what? The village that he led was very poor. This is because nobody came from outside this village to buy food and other things from outside the village. That's not clear. Business people did not like Chief Kombele at all. They believed that he was the cause of poverty in the village. He was very greedy for money, and he did not allow customers from outside the village to come and buy from them. So it's a very mixed sort of paragraph, and we're trying to teach clarity to our children. And this is a model of what our kids are getting, again, because this book is only 20 cents, and the very poor in the village are the ones that can afford it. That is the issue, and that's why I'm talking about this on this video. I would like to thank Dr. Miss Margaret Kagwe, who is actually the founder and editor of this magazine, Esteem. It is sold in Kenya, and this episode, or this issue, is actually from July to September 2018. It is very important for me because Miss Dr. Kagwe, who's actually here, you can see her over here, very kindly agreed to actually publish my story about Village in Motion. That story is found on this page. It starts over here, and it does talk about the reasons I started Village in Motion, which is now in its 10th year. It also mentions towards the end, over here, at the very bottom, that there is a book, an autobiography that I'm writing that is coming out October 2018. This I find important because it will help show the world, or share with the world, why I'm so passionate about helping villages in Kenya. village children to be precise, to have home libraries, in other words, books available in their homes. So in summer 2018, which is July and August, I was in Kenya to help set up 4 home libraries. These are dedicated or in remembrance of the Spearin family. That is very important to my childhood because they had libraries, they had books in their homes that I learned to read from. So with the help of Peter Nyamori Kanani, he's my nephew living in Kino, Nairobi, and his friend and believed relative, Josephat, and of course my cousin, Justice Ayenga, not to forget Dr. Edward Hasahala. These are the people that joined me to actually establish home libraries for locations, for people's homes. So we have that happening. That means our kids are able to access good books. Not books like these, not books like these either, but books that are written with correct English, with good content and value that will be foundational for these kids' success. So I'm very grateful again for Dr. Margaret Kagwe for her support. She's basically supported us, she's joined us, she's partnered with us to make known what we're doing in Kenya. And I really appreciate her. May this magazine sell worldwide and may it really extend the values that she believes in. 2 months before I came to Kenya, so we're talking about May or June 2018, with the help of my church community and friends, I was able to ship over to Kenya almost 20 feet of container space of books. And these books arrived in Bungoma at some point, where my cousin lives. He was so grateful again, to store them for me. And then from there, I invited people to come over and get them from Bungoma and take them deep into the village. So you'll be seeing Joyce, for example, coming on a motorbike, and you can tell this is North America from even the boxes. These are no-frill boxes that are from stores, grocery stores here in Canada, and she's taking them deep in the village where these kids are based, where these kids live. My friend Josephat, who's I believe Peter's cousin, he showed up with a pickup. He grabbed like a whole ton of them again and went over in the village. So the people we're supporting are really deep inside the villages. The kids that can't, they don't have access to the books that we're used to. We're reaching that population and hoping that they do not get a hold of the books like you've seen before. They're a total disaster and a disservice to our education system and to the future of these children.